Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, Johnson City, Tennessee, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Virginia. Also, Proficient Nail Academy, downtown Johnson City, Tennessee. That's 3 schools. Spreading love the JC way is one way, but no, scratch that back. Spreading love the Crown Cutz way is the only way. We got a banging episode for you. We're going to jump in and make it do what it do. And again, shout out to FeedSpot for ranking as the top 25 podcasts in the world. Top 25 podcasts, top 5 in the United States. Making some headwaves. But before we jump into our episodes in this lovely podcast, I'm going to let my brothers introduce themselves. The ones with the pads.
Jordan pointing at me, I'm pointing at him this time.
It's like a anime.
That's right.
Jordan Bard from Bristol, Tennessee. J Bob on Instagram.
Am I Fields? Am I your barber? Am I's barbershop?
And
Marion.
Before we even go forward, I gotta let you guys know we're doing the Fades and Flows August 26th. I know it's short notice.
That is so awesome. I look forward to that.
August 26th. It's gonna be
It's already back.
Battle of the Borders.
What time
Bristol,
you doing
Virginia versus Johnson City, Tennessee. It's gonna be started at 6.
Bro, has it already been that time? Like, he's already came back
I
again?
mean,
that? Yeah, you're old.
I mean, it's
That's
fun.
crazy.
People look forward to it. We got a dope flyer. I'll show you guys a flyer in a second. But hey, we ready to rock.
Was it at Bristol this time?
It's gonna be in Johnson City.
Okay. I'll be there.
I kind of like Johnson City
It's gonna be
Yeah,
in
that's
Johnson
a lot more
City.
space.
Plus, we moving the location anyway.
Well, okay.
So we moving the location.
This is the last one at the current location?
Yes, last one to the current location.
Let me block that off.
Yeah.
'Cause, I love going to that.
So we moving. Yeah. So we coming.
What time?
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it live, right? It's going to be live on Instagram.
Yeah.
We got to do it live on Barber College Success, too.
Should have somebody come and video the whole event.
I mean, you got somebody do video.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My boy Mace Curves.
Well, hit me up.
And we can be doing Barber College Success. If you're listening to this, Craig Charles puts on a barber contest.
Barber battle.
Barber battle. And it is a barber battle. The schools, Bristol and Johnson City, compete for an individual event, right? And then there's a school event. Yeah, they got the belt. So
Championship belt.
It is always
And the
fun,
crown.
high energy, seeing people shaking, especially the anxiety with new barbers. I feel like it's even worse with the than like older barbers. So
Yeah, I said, you seen the flyer?
Yeah, I got it.
Flyer is dope too. We got some merch.
I was just trying to remember if I was shaking when I did it.
oh, you shaking like booty meat.
No, I don't think I was. I don't think I was. No, I was shaking at the one when I went to Knoxville. That junk was crazy.
Fades and flows. I'm putting in the thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be good for the students. Give them an opportunity to kind of see what the pressure is, see what it is to compete, see where they at. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, the belt's been in Bristol for the past 2 times.
Yeah.
Represent.
Yeah.
It was Jordan and Colton.
No, I lost.
Colton's won
I
it
got
twice.
second place.
Colton, I think.
No.
Oh,
Female
I remember. Yes.
barber.
Kendall.
No.
I thought Kendall won.
She won the hair art part.
Oh, you talking about Kate the Great?
Kate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She has some crazy design. It was dope.
Milmer. She got married. What's her last name now?
Yeah.
Shout out to Kate. Mazel tov.
Yeah, it's gonna be big though. Those things are always fun for me. Always fun watching the students compete. It gives the students an opportunity just to see what barbering is about, the arts history of barbering, and having the community coming from all walks of life, and people just coming like it's a big old, like it's like a museum. Coming into a museum, just chilling and just enjoying artwork.
And that's a good transition to the podcast today, talking about being an individual. You know, art is very individualistic,
Yes, sir.
and you know, it's a personal thing, and that's what we're doing. And one thing that I've discovered in barbering is that, you know, not only are your haircuts special to you as far as artwork, but the way you do business is artwork. Like the way you structure your barbershop and run it and things like that, that is also art. So a lot of people try to compare and sometimes you copy just for what's the word I'm looking for, Jordan? Not to copy to emulate, but just to what do you say? Like if you look at another barber and you like how they cut hair, so you try to practice. They inspire you. You know, it's an inspiration. You know, so.
But what most students don't realize is that not because Jordan is really cutting good, or Craig is cutting good, or Ammi is cutting really good, amazing. His success is not going to rub off on you. It's good to want to be like someone,
Yeah.
but you have to understand it. It's going to take you some time for you to get to that point. And then after that, you're going to form your own style.
That's why I was telling people, like, it's not bad to compare yourself. Like, there's a good and a bad way to compare yourself. Like, as far as like how you want your quality of your haircuts to be, or maybe you like the way they dress, or like how they do business. You can try to take a little bit of what they do and apply it to yourself, and then later on you can kind of make your own mix. It's like I have tons of bars. I take stuff from Craig, Ammi, I got freaking Chris Basios. It's all everybody I learned and just put it all together into my own type of style of cutting. And now I have my own type of way of how I set myself apart.
And understand the insecurity that you have in. It's almost selfish to think that your haircuts at 2 months, 3 months in school should be just as good as someone who's been doing it for 5 years or 10 years or whatever it may be. That is a selfish act, I think.
Almost disrespectful.
Disrespectful, because you are a student. You're 2 months in, 3 months in, 4 months in. Oh, I'm not learning. Because you see this other barber who's perfected his cuts, who took some time and worked on his cuts to hit his stride. And he didn't hit his stride instantly. It took some time. I talked to a barber last week, and he told me, man, I remember he used to tell me in school that that I hit my stride. And he's like, yeah, I hit my stride. It was almost like second nature. I wasn't even thinking. I was just cutting hair. And we had like a moment where he was just smiling. He's like, yeah, I remember when we used to talk about that. And I didn't understand what it was going to be. You're just going to be cutting. It's going to be like second nature. It's going to be like turning your hand over, and it's going to be that easy. But it takes time to get to that point.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when a barber gets his own individuality. Like when you see them starting to post the way they want to post, making videos how they want to post. Because like when I was in school, I would see a lot of barbers. Which is good. They started making content. They started now. It seems like, especially at Crown Cutz, barbers come in immediately making content. But a lot of times I see their content, and I can tell that they've kind of just seeing what's trending. Or maybe there's a local barber that they like. Jordan's really good at putting content out, and I've seen people almost emulate him in a way. But then when I see barbers just start making content, and you could tell that like they're putting their own thing on it, like they're doing it because they like it. Like to me, that gets me so excited because I feel like you're hitting that next level of growth in your life.
Of course, and it's a process, and I constantly see. So we have some students right now who've been beating themselves up, just beating themselves up. And when you beat yourselves up, you don't realize you become a problem in the school because you blame everyone else. And when you miss school, it's someone else's fault. And you don't realize you're in a position to learn. You are in a college course to learn, which is barbering. You're in an environment to learn, and it's okay. You're not going to get it all at once. It's okay. And some students think that their time is running out. They played around. Now it's 1,300 hours. And that's when the crunch time starts coming. And they're looking at their haircuts like, man, why is my haircuts not looking? Have you been working as hard as the next man?
I just thought of something, and it's really sobering to think about. Craig, I'm going to thank you again. I'm going to thank you publicly because I just thought about it, right? It just hit me. So I've had to do a number of speaking engagements here recently. It just keeps happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed, probably from this but people have been telling me how well I've spoken, with a microphone or in front of a camera. And I just realized that I've gotten better at it by doing this.
Right.
Like by continually doing this podcast and speaking to people, interviewing and having this conversation. Practice. And cues. Right. I've learned how to be a better speaker. And I'm sorry I know we're doing the podcast, but it just hit me now that like all the stuff just doing this consistently has made me a way better speaker. And not because I went to school and got a public speaking degree or whatever, but just because it's all just been this.
And doing something that you love and enjoying it.
Yeah.
I say everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
I just had like a moment of enlightenment all of a sudden.
But that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Because if we don't share those moments, people don't realize it takes time.
But it's so organic too. And it wasn't like I never felt like it was tense at any time.
But it was practice from all. I mean, we've been doing this for
151 episodes
So
now.
if you don't get better and learn how to do different things and understand your cue, when to stop, when to pause, and how to pronounce your words properly, how to be better at
Collect your thoughts.
how to collect your thoughts, how to take your time and let people understand what you're saying.
This is like,
That's organic growth.
you can't put a price on this kind of education. And it was fun, and it's been fun the whole time we've done it. And that's what it all is. It's all about just like enjoying the moment. Like just enjoying it. Like, don't try to make it into something. There's no David Goggins said, there is no finish line.
Right.
Like, you're always getting better. So
When your cup is full, you're dead. It's over.
exactly.
It's a wrap.
So when you're cutting hair and you're in school, and don't think about when I get my license. Don't think about when I get in the shop. Just be in the moment. Like my dad said, one day at a time.
And you're thinking, your thought process is, if I touch his clippers, my cuts will come out the same way. If I use
That's what they do though. They go by. It's like, oh, George using what kind of clippers are you using? Oh, he got the new Gammas. I'm gonna go get the new Gammas.
Yeah, I definitely. I was a clipper head in school. I bought every clipper. Everybody come in here, but what clippers you got today? And I was like, I got some bad ones. He's like, no, those are trash.
You doing the JRLs for a minute though, right?
Yeah, I still got those. I got every clipper that I bought except for 2 of them.
Except for the ones that got stolen.
Yeah, and well,
No, you
I
got
got
those
it back.
back.
I
Yeah,
got
you
it
got
back.
it back.
Austin
My bad.
Fast Fees and the this the Austin Fast Fees. I didn't know how to use them either, so that's the reason why I didn't like them. I bet if I use them now, I would like them.
No,
and
trash.
I think getting back on topic, I think that's one of the main reasons why some students have a terrible time. Have a not terrible time, but an easy experience in school.
That makes sense, because you're putting yourself in a box against a wall. Like, you feel like if you're not, it's like going to the gym. If you feel like you have to go to the gym every single day, if I miss a day of the gym, I'm ruined it. I can't, it's not true. It's the same with barbering. Like, if you're not, you don't have to feel like you have to be at a certain place right now. Just be happy where you're at and work on where you're at.
So thinking about this, you mentioned earlier, I don't know if you mentioned on while we were doing the podcast earlier, you said you moved into your suite and you've had some people reach out and want to cut next to you. What is their thought process? Thinking if they move next to you or come work with you, they're gonna pick it up. They're gonna be the best barber possible.
I feel like, because I do feel like
You can learn from watching now
yeah,
and
like,
being in the environment, but you got to put in work. You have to do some homework.
yeah, because I do feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, if I'm around, I bet you if I'm around him, I could probably like get better 2 times faster.
But
you could, but it's all based off of you. Like, if you're willing to ask questions and willing to practice the stuff that you know you're not great at, then you can get good like faster.
Right.
But you just gotta understand that it's gonna take some time, and you gotta be willing to learn for yourself, not just cause, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it's just that's how I was. I've always liked. I am intrigued with barbering. I love barbering. I love the art aspect of it. I love everything about it. I want to learn everything about it. So I want to be great. That's just me. If you don't want to be great, then you're not going to be great.
I mean, but that's in almost everything that we do. If you understand and you want to be great, you have to realize it takes time. It takes time. I mean, when you till that land, that harvest not just going to come out instantly.
No.
That's why vegetables and fruits have seasons. It takes time. You're trying to pick that fruit when it's not in season. You're not in season yet.
Yeah.
You're not in season as a barber yet. Your season is going to come. Your time will come.
It's kind of like, I mean, I would look at it almost as like a tree. I mean, even okay, you plant the tree and the tree's growing and you start to see the tree get taller. It still don't have fruit on it yet.
Right.
And then, it might take years for the fruit to finally get those trees. But one day you will walk out to your tree and you're going to see a peach on it and you're like, oh man, I got some peaches, and then you still might want to wait. The peaches ain't big enough. You got to wait for the peaches to get ripe.
Yes. The sun got to come out because, certain times of the year, the sun it's out longer. Certain times of the year, it's out less.
Mm-hmm. And my father-in-law is a farmer. He said the sun ain't got that grow. That's how he said, sun ain't got the growing power. That's how he say it sometimes.
But it always baffles me, and that's something. And I think pretty much all schools have that problem. There's always going to be students comparing themselves. I mean, there's always going to be people comparing themselves. Like I could just imagine like some people go to like NBA players camps and think they're gonna come out be able to shoot like Steph.
They do that though. That's why Jordan has capitalized off this. Hey, you want to shoot like Steph? Why don't you come to my class for 30 minutes? You pay $30, and then I'll teach you how to shoot like Steph.
But but that's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Uh-huh.
If you have people like that who just want to think that your skill will translate to them instantly, I wonder if and when you say, "Hey, I'm having a class. This is $50." How many of them would come and pay for it?
They most certainly would. But it's not like you're cheating them.
Hold on. When you know when it's time to pay, a lot of people backfire. They backpedal.
I say pay first.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, is that event
So it would really test their faith and see who's really true about what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see that. Try to put it. Say you're having a class, and say your class is $100.
And see how many people would actually come.
Yeah. Or how much whatever your class is worth. 150, 200.
I would love to do that.
And-
That's actually something I would like to do.
They want to do it right now. They want to do it right now.
I know they do because
They said, Jordan, let me sit next to you.
people message me,
Let me
bro, they're
watch
like,
you
bro, do you
cut
have
hair.
any tutorials? And I'm like, no. They're like, you need to make tutorials. And I was like, I'm going to,
Which would be easier, just having a tutorial, making a video, editing it, or hey, come hang out with me in my new spot, check it out.
And that's the way how you grow, because when you go to a class and you see it done and you can replicate it and practice it on a mannequin or someone else's or a live client, that's how you're going to grow. But if you're just going to talk about it and say that I'm going to stand next to you and be better, it's not going to happen like that.
But also, I feel like if you're wanting to do stuff like that, I feel like you have to be at the peak. Like, it's like, as far as like learning, like you have to know the book, like the words to just explain stuff for people that are coming out of school.
No, you don't.
You don't feel like
No, because I went to a class, paid $100 to go to class, and the guy told me he was cutting my hair with scissors, and he said he was self-taught with scissors. And he was self-taught.
Well, that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
But most people, the theory is important.
I mean,
That's an anomaly, because everybody's not going to be like everybody. Because there's a lot of musicians who could just play just off rip, self-taught. You know what I'm saying?
Chris Brown couldn't write music. I mean, no, it was Chris Brown. It was Nick Cannon couldn't read music, but that boy could play some drums.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not everybody. Like there's so many anomalies out there. Like Jay-Z, Biggie. They go to the studio. They don't have to write nothing, and they can that's just the talent that they have. But everybody doesn't have that talent.
Well, Jordan's a barber, Jay-Z.
So someone has to teach that to you, and you have to practice it.
Yeah.
When you hear they talking about Biggie go to the studio, he never wrote nothing down, and he remembers everything on one take.
Wayne does that too.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a talent. You don't have too many barbers, too many rappers talking about they doing that.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a talent. I mean, doing a fade was secondary to me. Doing a fade is like, I have my game plan. I can knock down like 7 minutes,
Yeah.
6 minutes, 5. Just knock it down like that.
I was thinking about 7-minute fades.
I mean, but some people just have some innate things in them that they could do, the repetition, and they're just gifted with it.
Yeah.
But if you're not gifted with it, then you got to work. And it's not fair to compare yourself to somebody else, because you don't know if they're gifted or not. And you put yourself in a serious situation to frustrate yourself even more, because that wasn't your God-given talent to be able to pick it up that fast. That's somebody else's. But it's your God-given talent to also learn. You got a talent to learn too, and accept you'll learn at your pace.
Yeah.
And that's why I understood that teaching is a lot harder than what I thought it was.
It is
Because you have to be able to dissect your way of cutting and make it into a way that they can understand. And it's hard. It's very hard. But I mean, I'm willing to take the challenge. And I also don't have a system when I cut. I just go. Like, I'm just
You see what I'm saying?
yeah. So you have to develop a system for you to teach.
You
And
do
it's
have
like-
a system. You just don't know how to articulate it to other people.
That's probably what it
It's-
is.
I mean,
You probably do the same. To you, it makes sense in your mind, but to, like, trying to articulate it to your students is difficult.
Yeah, but also I feel like I don't. I feel like it's based off the haircut and the hair texture. It's all different. I don't really think I stay the same. Well, I kind of stay the same, but not really. It's just I can't explain it.
So when you start your fade, how you start your fade?
Use a debug first.
See, that's just
Debug
That's pretty
first.
standard.
That's just
Debug first, and then I'll go to the top. If they're doing shears, I'll do the shears on top, and then blend it with the debug, and then I'll
That's unique. That's unique to you.
you just talked about your system.
You're halfway there.
halfway.
You just described your system.
And the fade part's probably the easiest part to do.
Yeah, that's the easiest part.
You just talked about your system.
Yeah, Jordan, come on, dude. Seriously. You trying to make checkers in the chest.
I feel like I don't know the terms for scissors and shears, like shears wise.
But the thing is, that's where you have to start putting your thoughts on paper, and then you'll see it. But if you don't take your time, put it on paper, it's all up here, and then you can't replicate. You can't teach it. So the thing is, you might have to do is just sit down and put your thoughts on paper. Write it down. I mean, that's going to take some work. That's going to take some work. But if you want to take the next level in teaching now, how it is in your mind, it's not easy to replicate that for someone else's mind, because you're going to puzzle them and they're going to struggle. But if you write it down a way where they can see it and then you can demonstrate it, yeah, you might get them. You might have them. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the important part of that. But you can't just go in the gym to training camp and you with the Lakers and Kobe's in there and you're like, oh, I'm gonna watch everything Kobe does. Kobe got a God-given talent. You know what I mean? Kobe got a God-given, you're not gonna be like Kobe. There's only one. And that's what it is in our profession. There's only one Jordan. There's only one Craig. There's only one Ammi. People ask me all the time, and how instructors, especially a lot of times, when I talk to students, I can't get through to them. But you come across and you always get through to them.
I'm talking about the dude in Nashville. I'll never forget that. Good. Okay, before we go, I got to tell y'all this story about Craig. So we're in Nashville, and we're touring schools, right? And this school, there's obviously it wasn't a bad school, but the disciplinary, the structure of it wasn't as strict. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot more stuff going through the cracks. But anyways, Craig comes in there, and Craig's teaching. And this dude is interrupting him every time he says something. You know, obviously he's a class clown. Nice guy, funny dude. It might just be how he is. And I think it was how he is. But anyways, dude kept interrupting Craig. And then Craig's like, whoa. Settle down. Let's get back on topic. And that dude didn't say nothing the rest of the time. It's a grown man too. This ain't it was a funny experience.
It was a polite, respectful way of telling somebody.
I ain't never seen Craig do that. He said, "Whoa, settle down,
pump the brakes." I mean, but you have to know how to work the room.
Yeah.
I mean, but my communication was direct and it was effective.
And it wasn't offensive.
It wasn't offensive. It wasn't demeaning. It wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's key. Communication is the key. When you can communicate with someone, you can connect with anybody.
Word. Especially as a barber.
Yeah.
You have a license to pull up on somebody. If they ain't got hair, they got a beard. You know what I'm saying?
So thinking about this, I went to this, and I probably spoke on it before, and I went to that convention in Georgia last year. And that professor from Michigan State said, if you want, as a teacher, if you want to better communicate with kids in your classroom, he said, go to a barbershop and watch how barbers communicate with kids.
Powerful.
Yeah. And I didn't think about it. I was like, we communicate with kids because we have to settle them down to cut their hair. Mm-hmm. And that's an effective tool that we use.
That's what every teacher has to do every day.
And that's what every teacher have to do every day. Mm-hmm. You're trying to connect with kids to teach them, but if we're trying to connect with kids because we know when we connect with them, that haircut's going to be a little bit smoother.
They'll sit down, they'll sit still,
they'll sit
get our work
down,
done.
Yeah, and we'll move on to the next.
Yeah.
But it's the same application in the classroom. Mm. If you can connect with people, connect with kids, connect with people who you're teaching, when you communicate with them, you're going to connect with them, and it's going to be an effective class. It's going to be effective. Your teacher is going to be effective.
Yo, Craig Charles, the third grade teacher. See it right now.
Third, fourth, fifth, sixth,
any grade. Preschool.
I mean, college. I mean, I love teaching. And even now when I'm teaching in the jail, I've learned something with myself, because one of the key things I started doing right now, I don't teach the skill first. Because I believe when you teach the skill first, it kind of sours on people. And most people miss a valuable thing because they try to please you so much. And when they don't get it done, they get frustrated. So my teaching method right now is I build confidence first. I teach confidence because I believe when I teach confidence first, people grasp the skill more. When I teach them confidence, they feel better about themselves. They feel happy about themselves. When I teach confidence, they feel like they can accomplish certain things. When I teach confidence even more, they feel like they can accomplish everything, all things. But if you just go and try to teach the skill first, it's going to be difficult. Mm-hmm. So my method is I teach confidence first and then the skill. Because as the confidence comes, you're going to try and keep trying. But if you teach the skill first, the moment you reach some adversity, you want to quit. But that confidence, when that's being taught first, it kind of pushes you over the edge to want to keep learning and keep grasping because you feel good about yourself. And that's my method to teaching.
Yes, sir. Craig Charles method. Brought to you by Crown Cutz Academy.
I mean, I just think when you communicate, you can connect. And communicate.
You got to put that on paper. We need your own. We need, instead of Milady, we need McCraig.
Hey, I mean that is important, and I learned that. I think I figured out in the past maybe like 6 months to a year, because when I first opened the school, my focus was I'm gonna teach them to be the best barber possible. You're gonna learn how to fade, but everybody learns and grows at different paces, and people get frustrated trying to learn how to fade. And then that's all you want to do is learn how to fade. And if you don't get it, you beat yourself up. But there's so much more than fading. And that's the easy part to me.
And then you could be an individual. Then you use your own way to fade. It's like Jordan trying to dress like me today because he just feels like he had his cocaine style and now he wants to be Ammi. So it's
before
like
Ammi, there was Jordan.
Okay.
I got dunks on. Thank you very much.
Before Ammi, there was Jordan. That sounds like some biblical verse or something.
Yeah. No, don't do that to him. His head big enough.
Before Ammi, there
he gonna start
Jordan.
a cult now. No.
Yeah, but this was epic. I think. What do you guys think?
This was a good podcast, man. I enjoyed the talk about this one. And there's a lot of stuff that
you have to be. You have to be an individual.
And we're growing for y'all. Y'all listening, we're making an effort to make this more efficient, to give you information, to keep you more engaged. So
information changes situations.
That's right.
Communication. When you can communicate, you can connect. What you think, Jay Bird?
Jay Bird.
Yeah. Candy, what is it? Candy cane they call you?
Candy cane.
Sugar daddy.
Candy bar.
Oh.
So they said
Candy bar. So the commentator would be like, there goes Candy Bar getting caught from the 5-yard line.
Now we had this country dude. He's like, Jordan Bar. So it's Jordan Bar on the run. I miss those days, man.
Hey,
good days.
That's what I'm saying. You got, like you said that, and that's a good point. Enjoy those days, because if you don't take advantage of it and enjoy those days, you're not going to have a good experience. And you're going to look back and be, man, why did I waste my time just beating myself up and not enjoying those days? Because that's what school is for, to enjoy those days.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have some great memories, especially fades and flows coming up. And it's not about the win. Everybody wins when they compete in a school competition because you participate. We're not giving trophies out to everybody, but just participating, because just participating, you win.
Being there, you win. Yeah, I like to just be a fly on the wall and watch it. It's fun.
We're not giving out trophies to everybody. It's going to be first and second place. That's it. But if you compete, all 15, 20, 30, whatever students compete, that's good.
You'll learn a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now from competitions. Me being freaking competitive, I hate losing, but also I love learning. So that's one way to learn is losing. That's how you learn.
Yes, sir. Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, and Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Virginia. Spreading love the Tri-City way is one way, but spreading love the Crown Cutz way is the only way. My guys, for my left and my right, what you guys got to end this with?
I'm going to end it with be original. Don't be Jordan. You're trying to copy me.
Be original. Don't be Ammi.
So you just copy me again.
No. No, just go out there and be yourself, man. Y'all have fun. Go learn, be great. Don't be scared to fail, as I always say.
Remember, there's only one copy of you.